Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all my dear students. This is your lecture number 19, chapter Support and Movement. The main contents of today's lecture is structure of bone, structure of cartilage, comparison between bone and cartilage. It will cover the content from your textbook from page number 45 to page number 46. Okay students, so after completing this lesson you will be able to describe the structure of bone and compare it with that of cartilage, and you will able to explain the function of osteoblast, osteoclast and osteocytes. Okay students, review of the previous lecture. In the previous lecture we had covered the thermoregulation and the classification of animals on the basis of thermoregulation, and then the thermoregulation strategies in man. Structure of bone. Basically students, as we all know that bone is a rigid body tissue consisted of cells that are embedded in an abundant hard intracellular material. The two principal components of this material include collagen and calcium phosphate. So bone tissue make up the individual bones of the human skeleton and the skeletons of other vertebrates. The study of bone and cartilage is called osteology. Bone is basically composed of four main components. It is made up of its tissues. It is made up of cartilaginous fibrous connective tissues. It is also have blood vessels and nerve tissues as well. Bones, in the bones we have a cells, and the cells of the bones is called osteocytes. Osteo means bone and cytes means cell, so the cells of the bone is called osteocytes. Okay student, this is simple the structure of long bone. Basically a long bone has two parts. The terminal broad part are called epiphysis, you can see in the diagram easily, and the middle part along the length of the bone is called diaphysis. Diaphysis is also called shaft. The hollow region in the diaphysis is called the medullary cavity, which is filled with yellow marrow. The wall of the diaphysis are composed of dense and hard connective bones. And as you see, the inner bone mass is called spongy bone. Most of the spongy bone is present in epiphysis. Basically, the red bone marrow is also found in the spaces of spongy bone. And students, as you see in the diagram, the outer surface of the bone is covered with the fibrous membrane called periosteum, and the inner region is called endosteum, right? That means the outer region is called periosteum while the inner region is called endosteum. And as you see in the diagram, there is a hole in an opening or groove in the bone that allow blood vessels and nerves to enter the bones. Basically, the surface features of the bones depend on their function, location and attachment of the ligaments and tendons, or the penetration of blood vessels and the nerves. And what do you mean tendons and ligaments? Basically, tendons and ligaments are a fibrous connective tissues. Tendons connect muscles to the bones while ligaments connect or attach bone to bone. So this bone to bone attachment is also known as articulation. Types of cells associated with bones. Basically, there are three main types of cells that are associated with bones: osteoblast, osteoclast and osteocytes. These three cells are derived from osteogenic cells. So osteogenic cells are basically those type of cells which differentiate and develop into osteoblast cells. Osteoblast is basically the bone forming cell while osteoclast is bone destroying cell. So that's mean osteoblast is responsible for forming the new bones. So that's mean osteoblasts synthesize and secrete a collagen matrix and calcium salt and secrete unmineralized ground substance and form the new bone. That's why the osteoblast is called a bone forming cells. The work of the osteoblast is opposite to the work of the osteoclast. Osteoclasts are basically a bone destroying cells. Students, the work of the osteoclast is also very important for the growth of the bone and repair of the bone. So the question is how the osteoclast cell perform their functions. Basically, osteoclasts perform their function under the action of demineralization. What do you mean by demineralization? It is basically the breakdown of the bone and deposit calcium and phosphate in the blood. That's why osteoclast cell is also known as bone resorption cells. Okay, now the third one, that is osteocytes. So students, when once the osteoblasts are surrounded by a matrix, now they become osteocytes. After forming osteocytes, the only one function of osteocytes is to maintain the healthy bones by secreting some enzymes and influencing the bone mineral contents. That structure of cartilage. As we all know that cartilage is not strong as bone and it is present at a particular places only, like the end of the long bone at the joints, and it's also play a very important role for the structural components of some human skeleton like rib cage, the ear, the nose, the bronchial tubules and the intervertebral disc and many other body components. So cartilage is composed of a cells that are called chondrocytes. So they basically the cartilage have only one type of cell that are called chondrocytes. It is composed of loosely packed collagen fiber. The blood vessels is totally absent in cartilage. The deposition of minerals is also totally absent in the cartilage cells, and the cartilage cells is covered by an external covering called perichondrium. This is a general features of the structure of cartilage. Okay students, this is simply the structure of cartilage. As you see in the diagram, the outer external covering of the cartilage is called perichondrium, which is composed of a dense layer of collagen fibers, and in between the pericardium we have a matrix as well. Matrix is basically a gel like component which is composed of collagenous and elastic fibers. There are also small cavities that are distributed in the matrix which are called lacunae. Lacunae contain a cartilage cell, and as we discussed in the previous slide that these cartilage cells are called chondrocytes. And students, you can see one more fibers in this diagram that is called elastic fibers. Because of these elastic fibers that are present in the matrix of the cartilage, it become more flexible as compared to bone cells. And students, as we discussed in the previous slide that cartilage doesn't contain blood vessels, so the question is how the blood supply to the cartilage cells. So the answer is the blood is supplied to the chondrocytes, the cartilaginous cell, by diffusion process. Because of this process, it doesn't supply blood through the blood vessels. It heals very slowly as compared to the bone cells. Now the types of cartilage. On the basis of location, position and composition, we divided the cartilage into three types. Number 1, elastic cartilage, number 2, hyaline cartilage, and number 3, fibrous cartilage. So students, as you see in the diagram, the elastic cartilage is basically composed of elastic fibers which are found in your ear flap and epiglottis, while the hyaline cartilage is found at the end of your long bones and in the nose, at the larynx and the trachea as well. And the third one is fibrous cartilage. As you see in the diagram, it is basically composed of a thick collagenous fibers which is found in few parts of the body, like it is located between the intervertebral disc and the cartilage of the knees. So these are the few main types of the cartilage that remains in the adult human body. Now students, remember one thing more. Which one of the cartilage is the strongest cartilage in our body? Answer is fibrocartilage. Why? Because it is a type of cartilage that contains a fine collagen fibers arranged in a layered arrays. That's why it is one of the strongest in the human body. Now, difference between bones and cartilage. As we discussed in the previous slide, that the collagen is densely packed in the bone while collagen is loosely packed in the cartilage tissues. The cells of the bones is mainly three types: osteoblast, osteoclast and osteocytes, while the cells of the cartilage is called chondrocytes. The blood vessels is mainly present in bones while blood vessels is absent in cartilage. So there is no mineral deposition in cartilage, but deposition of minerals such as calcium carbonate and phosphate will be occur in the bones. That's why with the help of this deposition the bones become rigid and hard and provide protection, support and movement to the human skeleton. The external covering of the bones is covered by periosteum in the bones, while the external covering is covered by perichondrium in the cartilages. So students, this is all about the comparison of cartilage, and hopefully it's all clear now. Okay students, so today we had covered the structure of bone and structure of cartilage with the help of label diagram, and we also had covered the comparison between bones and cartilage.